Hey, it's James from Finney Electrical. On today's video, we're winding up this heating system. Here we go. So then we're into the job then, so we have to wire up this heating system. So we've got two boilers working in tandem. And we've got Brian here, just helping us out today. So then, yeah, we've got to, yeah, it's the right mess, look at it. So this was like a little cupboard, it had like a little hot water tank in and a boiler here existing. They've ragged it all out and there's just wires hanging everywhere, look at this. It's the right mess we have to deal with. Maybe we'll talk you through what we have to do to get this somewhat. Again, it's polishing a turd, but somewhat working. Right, we're going to check out these little WAGO wiring centres then. So we've got loads of little terminals here. You've got two big entries for your cables. So we're going to give it a go then, see how it gets on then. It's just easy to lift up, put it in, flap it down. Job's a good one. Right, we're just nipped in the van where it's a bit quieter out of the way. We've got plasterers in, we've got plumbers, decorators. Yeah, it's a bit chaos in there, but I'm going to somehow show you how to do a heating system. So then, this is S-plan then. So this is what we're dealing with. So basically there'll be a power supply come in. That was that thing between the two boilers. So we've got a socket circuit there. We're going to basically somehow make that, get a few spare there, which will basically power everything. And then there's going to be two boilers on the system. So on here there's only one boiler, but just imagine it'll be neutral, earth line, switch line, and then it'll go off to your next boiler essentially. So what else we got? You've got your wiring centre, which is this big block full of terminals, which basically you run a cable from each point to your wiring centre. So it'll go from your programmer to your wiring centre, and then your room stat to your wiring centre, your valves to your wiring centre. So everything runs via your wiring centre. So it looks really complicated at first, where you've got 50,000 wires, but you basically just follow this little diagram and it will show you where to put your cables. So there we go. So this here is Brian's cheat sheet. So it's slightly different to how I do it, but essentially you've got a power supply, you power up your wiring centre. So in this case it'll be like a big master switch which will power up these, and then basically there's going to be a two-channel programmer. On it says time controller, but yeah, two-channel programmer. So one's going to be for your central heating, one's going to be for your hot water. So again, you just send a 1, 2, 3, 4 core cable and earth to here, so 5 core, and give it a permanent live, neutral, and then 2 switch lives coming out. And then obviously your earth's going to go to every point as well. So that basically powers up your time controller. Your time controller, or your programmer, you tell it what time to come in and out. So for your heating, you're going to say it's going to come on, I don't know, if it's a domestic house, you might say an hour before you get up and half an hour before you go to bed. So you set those times, or half an hour before you go out, and you can set multiple times during the day. So let's pick the central heater then. So you'll set it to come on during them times. So it's powered up, and then switches, sends a cable, this central heating one live, and then basically if it's really hot in the room, you don't want your central heating to come on. So it's got a thing called a room stat. So your room stat basically has got like it's a thermostat. So this will switch in and switch out. So if it's cold and you put it up to like 20 degrees or 19 degrees, whatever, if it's below that temperature, it'll already be connected this terminal to that terminal, which then goes out to your 2-port valve. So it goes supply, programmer, stat, and then 2-port valve. So basically with your 2-port valve, there's 5 cores. I know it's a lot to take in, but just go with the flow. Then when we do it in real life, it might make a bit more sense.
My head is exploding! I can't think!
So it might confuse even more. Right then, so it's got your permanent, your greys are generally your permanent, but you have to check your wiring. But greys your permanent live, look, that's connecting to permanent live. Neutrals, your blue connects into neutral, earth for earth, and then you've basically got I call it a brown in or a line in, or call for heat, and then you've got a line out, or your boiler, or your oranges, whatever you want to call it. So essentially it receives this signal from the thermostat. This motor starts to open like that, starts to open, and then what it does is connect this grey one, if you follow that, connects this grey one to the orange. When the valve fully opens, there's like a little micro switch that switches, and then the orange comes live then, which then turns on your pump, turns on your boiler, and that's it. So that's one system, is an S-plan. This system's slightly more confusing because they've got 2 zones, and they basically don't want it to be, they want it all to come on one output from the central heating, so that will actually go to 2 valves, and it's all going to be wired in parallel. So the output from, there's no stat as well, so it's going to be permanently on, and then you're going to have stats on the radiator valves. So the output for the central heating will go straight to the brown of one 2-pot valve, start to open. It'll go to the brown of the other 2-pot valve, that'll start to open. Obviously both oranges will be connected. When the valve fully opens, it switches, orange comes live, and then connects to your boiler, which is linked to another boiler, and your pump to shoot everything around. And there's like a little shunt thing which basically opens the valve up, and I'll show you that as well. So there's yeah, I won't go into that because it is quite confusing explaining heating systems, but yeah, if you stick with it, we'll hopefully we'll get somewhere and you'll learn something. So then let's get back in there and get the trunking system up. Again, we're polishing a turd with this job. It's a right mess and there's just cables hanging out. I'm gonna have to do the best we can, but we'll show you how we do it then. So I'll explain that again in here then. So we've got feed comes in, so again, yeah, these cables are on, they go that way. We're gonna have to try and get this into some sort of trunking and then into a few spare. But anyway, feed comes in and then it'll come from here through the trunking round up into his wiring centre, which is going to be this little WAGO box. So we'll have to pick one of them for live earth neutral, probably the tops. So from there it'll wire up your programmer. So if your programmer sat here, tap your programmer set up, and programmer, it will go out to, normally it's your room stats, which the room stats going to be permanently on, so it's going to go straight to your pump. So we've got 2 heating zones here and a hot water one. So these are going to come round, clip along, and then up to your wiring centre, or through your trunking, which is going to go all the way along here. So basically that's that cable we talked about. So you've got a neutral, you've got an earth, and you've got a permanent live, which is your grey, and then you've got a line in, which is the brown. The valve opens, and then the switch line comes open, which goes to your boiler, which is this one, goes to your pump, which is this one, and that's it really. So there's not too much to it really, and then we'll talk about the hot water later when it's a bit less noisy. There we go, that's us trunking up then. So we've got that piece in all the way. We've got his cables in, so they're from the 2-pot valves. We'll explain what this is. That's that shunt thing we talked about. So it basically just goes, it receives a pulse and it just goes tum-tum, and then opens up. So that's to wire, that's to go in with the browns of these. So when these receive signal to start to open, this will go ka-chunk and then open. But this doesn't want to open when it's calling for hot water. This wants to be closed. So that's what it goes on with the browns, not the oranges. So then we've got to reroute all the cables through to the wiring centre. We've just got this piece in. Like I said, it's polishing a turd. We're not doing too bad. What else we got? Yeah, so what we're going to do, the guy wants a master switch, that'll be a few spare. And then obviously it'll come out to your wiring centre, do its thing, and then come back. And what we're going to do is wire these boilers. It's just live earth neutral, and then I think it's got a switch live terminal. I need to check. But essentially we might have to put a fan isolator with 3 terminals, so it's just the easiest way, just so it all looks the same. So it'll be a fan isolator with disconnecting the neutral, permanent live and the switch live, and that way, because he said he wants to be able to switch one off and work on the boiler safely. So that's the only way I can think of without putting like a big rotary isolator in, like a big 20 amp whatever, and it'll look a right dog here. So I think that's best option. There we go. Right then. Obviously boilers are going to come on at the same time, but at least if the switches are not on, you're able to flick it off, and it should kill all the power to each boiler then. So that's that then. So next then we're going to get the wiring centre mounted. I've got to count the cords and see how many terminals we need. But if we need 2 wiring centres, I've allowed for that on the programmer there then. So let's crack on. Right then, so Brian's just been wiring this up whilst I've been getting this on. So we've got the trunking on, we've got all the cabling into his wiring centre. So there's not that much room in these WAGO ones, to be fair. So if there was to make one with a lot more terminals coming in, that'd be a lot better, like a wider one. Now through the back there's loads of cable entries, so that'll be really easy. But yeah, you can only fit 2 cables side by side really, and we're still going to fit another one in here for the programmer. But yeah, so it's a bit all over the place though. But yeah, so basically what we've done is run a 5-core in then. So we've got live, earth, neutral in, So that's what. So the 5 car we've used brown, blue, green and yellow for live earth neutral. The black, what we've done is use that as the boiler switch light. So once it goes to its full, all the different controls, it'll go to the boiler. So that black actually takes it all the way back to this over here. Then, so in the back of here, we've got a connector block, which then goes through to here, and it'll pick up the boiler switch live, neutral and earth coming out of these few spare through this isolate to this boiler, and then it loops out and into the in, and then the out, that loops out into this boiler. So that'll be the boiler switch live, neutral and earth, nicked from source. We did it that way just so we didn't have to have a cable out going in and the cable coming back. So it just makes things a bit a bit more roomy in the back of here. So yeah, it's a bit tight in here then. So because these are coming on together, what we've done is just connect the what we've got: brown, blue, green, yellow, black, and grey all together, and then we just sent a little piece up to the top. Because they were coming on together, we didn't need to worry about that. And then obviously this needed a permanent live and neutral, so we just connected that to the permanent live and neutral, and then the actual switch wire which makes this turn and conjunct on, we've just wired into the browns of these. So obviously when it calls for heat, this will open up, and if we connect into the orange, obviously when this was on, this would open. We don't want this to be open if we're just sending hot water to the cylinder, to the big cylinder. So that's what we've done there. So that's heating then. So we've gone from power supply coming in, it'll go programmer, and then in on the brown. Obviously the valves will start to open up, hit a little micro switch, and then the orange has come live, which will then come out to your boiler. And we've also wired the pump into here as well. So the boilers will kick in, the pump will kick in. That's the heating sorted. And then there's static valves then on the actual radiators, which will turn the radiators on and off so it don't get too hot. Right then, so finally we've got the hot water then. So the programmer, for whatever time you set it to, the output will come to here then. And then what it'll do, we've got a cable going to this stat, which will go here then. So basically you wire in the stat, it's got a little thermal cutout, well, to do the thermal cutout bit of that, and it links out to this side, which is the actual temperature gauge. So there's a little setting on there. So normally set it to about 60-70 degrees just to kill the bacteria. But essentially, if it's not hot enough and it's calling for hot water, it'll run through this switch, back, then go into the brown, which will start to open up this valve, hit the little mic switch, orange kicks on then, so the 230 volts will go down the orange, which will then entail go to the few spares here. Sorry, these isolators, which will then kick in the boilers and the pump. So yeah, it's a bit long-winded, it's a bit hard to get your head around. But what I'll do is get this little stat mounted now on there. Right then, so to actually mount this then, so you gotta straighten them out, poke it in your hole. So plumb what's in there. That just clips on like that, pushes in, and then you tighten the 2 screws at the side, and that'll hold it nicely. And then you gotta pass it through a little grommet, which is this one. So you have to pass that through that and then wire it up, and then basically this, if we can hold it straight, slots into here afterwards like that. So you can pick which side you want it, and then there's a little blank that goes in the other. But we'll do it to the right, this left side, sorry. And that can sit like that, and then the cable come down, round and up to its bar and centre. Woo! There we go, Ellis has just wired this bit in, so we'll have to just tap this down. You get some like little sticky pad mounts, but basically it goes live in through your thermal cutout, then it'll go through your stat and then out, and then that's your earth, then to earth the full system. And I think it's got it on the earth. Is that earth? Do you have an earth symbol on that?
I don't know, but it's the only thing that's connected to metal, so I'm guessing so.
We'll check that, but anyway, so that's that wired up. So obviously it'll go power in into your via wiring centre. Sorry, via wiring centre into your programmer. We've got central heating and hot water out on these. So it'll go, this one will be hot water, and then from hot water it'll go via to here. When it clicks in, it'll come out. It'll then connect it to the cable, the brown go into your 2-pot valve, and then that'll start to open up the switch, it'll click, and then the orange will come live, which will come into these oranges, which then feeds off to the boilers and the pump. Woohoo! What do you think, Brian?
It's alright, isn't it?
Looks alright, we'll get in there.
Yeah, James, that's the only thing that can be
So there we go, still got power off then, so we can't see much, but yeah, that's this job done then. So once it starts firing, programmers in all ready to go. Left instructions for boiler man because there's still pipes not even plumbed in it here, look. So we can't really power it up and test it, but it's all wide as it should be. It's all the 2-port valves go into the trunking, go off to your wiring centre as we said earlier. We've got your pump here which wires into these, which kicks in when your boiler's kicking. And then you've got your main supply here. So just need a bit of labelling and that's this system complete. That's us done for today then. So yeah, it's a bit of a brain melt.
My brain hurts!
Trying to get all that in and showing Brian and these how it all works. But yeah, it's been yeah, an interesting one. So I'm glad I got all that trunking put around the room. These lads cut the lid, so well done on that and looked great by the end of it. But yeah, so yeah, heating, it's about as hard as it gets. Is trying to wire up a heating system when you've got different things turning on, and this switches this and that switches that, and you've got different stats, and that don't need stats because it's got thermostatic valves, and yeah, it just goes on and on and on. So what do you think then? Is it a bit of a brain bogger then, lads?
Yeah, it's too hard. It was too hard. I didn't get it.
You didn't get it?
I didn't get it, no.
Herbie?
Yeah, it was hard to understand, but it looked very good once it was all in.
Yeah.
And nice and tidy. So
yeah, we did a good job of it. It was a polishing a turd again, wasn't it? Trying to but yeah, if we're to do it properly, we'd have cables coming in exactly where we want it, so we wouldn't have to just cut the back out of the trunking and get the cables through, stuff like that. The walls would be all flat and stuff like that instead of all angled. So, but yeah, it took some doing that to get it all where we needed to be. But yeah, so heating systems, if you've got any questions about heating systems, put them below. If you're buying something up then and you don't know what you're doing, give me a message on Instagram and I don't mind helping out. But yeah, there's loads of ways to it. But yeah, there's a lot easier systems, but this is probably as, well, this is like medium as it gets. There's harder systems out there, but yeah, it's good. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you know when next uploaded. So have a good one from me. I'll see you on the next one. And there's Herbie and Oliver. Hey, off we go.